At the office, if you've had training on sexual harassment, there's a chance your company is offering outdated information. For example, there are 4 main questions employees should ask themselves if they're not sure about their behavior. They were designed by Ken Cooper, sexual harassment prevention trainer and founder of the website StopSHNow.com. He's based in St. Louis. Ken, your take on all this?
The thing is, everybody thinks there's an epidemic, and there isn't. It never went away. We've been doing this for decades, and the EEOC rules have been around since 1981. So it's more that it's coming to light, and we really just haven't been handling it.
So it comes down to folks more comfortable reporting it, I guess?
Absolutely, and particularly against people of power. I think that's what we're seeing, is people are coming forward where perhaps in the old days they would have been afraid to.
Who gets the credit by kind of starting the wave of, public outings?
Well, maybe Hannibal Buress, when he stood up and began to talk about Bill Cosby. It seemed like that was a big start. But you know what? I mean, we had, Wilbur Mills and the title bombshell, presidential candidates, sitting presidents. It's not like it's gone away again. There are instances all along where these things happen.
Yeah. All right, so when you're visiting different companies and doing your corporate training here, what's the message you generally try to impart?
Well, the big thing is everybody trains on the legalities. They talk about the EEOC policy, the lawyers stand up, they get everybody to sign everything. And you have to ask, well, since the problem hasn't gone away, clearly it's not working, what's missing? And so what we focus on are the behavioral tools. In other words, how can you talk about it? How do you describe it instead of, so-and-so is bothering me? How can you say, listen, this is level 3 harassment. He's a God's gift to women. I'd like it to stop. And that all means something. So it's providing terminology. It's helping people figure out where to draw the line from a behavioral standpoint. People walk out of these sessions, they don't know what to do.
Yeah. So when you talk about the 4 questions you should be asking, what do you mean? What are they designed to do?
You don't want to cross the line. Frankly, you don't want to go near the line. So the questions keep you away from that line. For example, the first thing, it's like when you're giving a speech and you wonder if you should tell a slightly risque joke. And the fact that you've asked yourself the question automatically tells you the answer is no. So if you're saying to yourself, well, I wonder if I should say this to somebody, or I wonder if I should put my arm around this woman and give her a hug. The minute you ask yourself the question, you've just answered it. The answer is no, or you wouldn't be worried about it.
We're speaking with Ken Cooper, corporate trainer, sexual harassment prevention expert, and he's got a website called StopSHNow.com. Explain some of the others you throw out there, too.
Well, yeah, another fun one to ask. Somebody says, well, what should I do? And say, well, would you mind having a picture of you doing it on the front page of the Wall Street Journal or on one of the poll boxes at the top of the MSNBC or whatever .com with a quote of exactly what you said? Would you do it to your CEO's wife? Would you do it in front of your significant other? Would you do it to a minister's wife? Would you say it to the girlfriend of a giant football player in a bar?
Right.
And if you go, no, well, there you go. That's not the right thing to do. And then finally, though, and this is the big one, and that is if you end up sitting in the jury box or in the witness box in a court of law, they're going to ask you this question, and that is, why did you need to do it? In other words, you can't say, well, what's wrong with that? And what you have to say is, well, what business of the organization was furthered? Why did the process require it? So, Adam Sandler sitting there doing an interview, putting his hand on the co-star's knee continually, and she looked uncomfortable, although afterwards she said she wasn't. Why did he need to do that? Why did he have to put his hand on her knee during the interview? Well, and that's what happens in a business setting, and that's when a lot of harassment falls apart because there's no justification for it. You didn't need to do it at all.
For the folks who are able to stop and ask these questions of themselves that you set out, are they the ones who aren't necessarily the problem? Like, are there some others who were just training just doesn't matter to them? They're going to do it anyway?
Absolutely. Most harassment situations, if they're handled properly, somebody will do something and they cross the line a little bit. And I like the word target rather than victim. The target will say, listen, that was unwelcome. Don't do that. I don't like that. And the person, generally man, will say, oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Thanks for letting me know. My bad. Don't worry about it. It'll never happen again. There you go. That's the way it's supposed to be done.
Thanks, Ken. Ken Cooper. Again, the website is StopSHNow.com. thismorning.com.
America's First News is online all the time. Follow us on Twitter @ThisMorningShow. Like us on Facebook or send us an email thismorning@compassmedianetworks.com.